And we're back. Forex Focus, Tuesday morning.
Frank and Glenn. Glenn and Frank. Pew, pew, pew.
Best friends ever.
Hi.
What?
It hurts when you say something like that and you don't mean it.
I think I'm starting to mean it because I don't have a lot of other options. You went to Amsterdam with 7 of your closest dudes.
Yep.
I don't think I could muster up. I could.
You could. You were just in Oklahoma for a bachelor party or something, right? Tuscaloosa?
Tuscaloosa?
Where'd you go?
What state is that in?
Alabama. Roll Tide.
Okay. I was going to say that confuses me because I don't feel like that's Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico, anything in that area is not Tuscaloosa.
No.
East.
But you've been on like 3 bachelor parties this year.
Oh, I thought you were talking about I have not had a bachelor party. If I did, right. the joke is that it would be in Oklahoma, and then there are other jokes that have been strapped onto that I will not say here, even though people are allowed to say stuff that they haven't been allowed to say for years now. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to take advantage of these renewed times. Shane Gilgis or whatever the heck that guy's name is. I went on a bachelor party to Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha, and you had one here.
Yeah, that was like a half bachelor party.
Just a day out at Wrigley Field.
He was only worth an afternoon. He could only muster up.
You've already started planning yours?
I don't think I'm gonna do one, dog. Is that weird?
It's not weird. Who pays for that stuff? It's not you.
Everybody equally pays for it. It's not like a birthday thing where it's like everybody cover Frank's bachelor party.
Really?
Like they cover his cost. Maybe some are like that, but like especially after you hit 30, it's like just pay for your own stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like it's not that big of a deal. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do it. I don't really.
What about an afternoon at Sox Stadium? How does that sound?
We could all get Pope Leo shirts
on Dollar Hot Dog Day.
Dude, man, I was walking around the Wicker Park Fest not as a fest goer, but as someone trying to get to his apartment.
Because you're literally on that street.
Yeah, and there's just a lot of dudes wearing Pope Leo shirts and just like crushing Miller Lights.
Nice.
And good for them.
Just as he intended.
Man, I saw some dude. He was, when you just like see a guy that you're like, when you put this outfit on, you thought you looked really sick. It was like plaid shorts. And I'm not trying to make fun of any of these items individually. Oh. I would never wear them, but I'm not making fun of them per se. They're for a certain person. I'm wearing literally a black shirt, which James I know is mad about because I have a floating head, and white Lululemon pants. Very. There's no color schemes, no designs, nothing interesting going on. So this guy was wearing plaid shorts, some like big Jordans. I have to say, white dude. Because whenever I see the white dude with the shorts on and the big Jordans,
it's different.
Looks funny to me. And then, yeah, Pope Leo shirt, like some kind of like joke about Pope Leo. And then a hat that said like Modelo or something. And it's just like, dude, like.
Last day at Wickerfest, we got to put it on like today.
He put that stuff on and was like, oh man, like the ladies at Wicker Park Fest are going to think I'm the life of the party. And it's just like, dude, you look just as goofy.
He was surrounded by women, is what you're saying.
He was alone. There was another dude there. I'm not joking. And honestly, I have so much respect for this guy. 2 rats on his shoulder. On the other shoulder, a sling, like almost like kind of like a papoose that you would carry a baby in.
Okay.
But like a long one. 3 rats in the sling, and he is moving this thing back and forth. The rats are like on a swing; they're swinging back and forth. And not a person within 30 feet of him. Like he's like the stage is like over here. Like he's stood like pretty like off to the right, but like 100 feet from the stage.
Yeah.
No one within any
Because
like,
were these little guys moving all around? Was he doing like
no.
all
They,
this
they were all
number?
just posted, like just like sat there. Like
But he was
nothing.
swinging the other ones.
But yeah, he was like swinging them, and yeah, Callie and I walked by, and it was just like, dude, if we had Scout right now, like this would be a scene. Because like Scout would go after the rats. Who knows what the rats would do? I don't know how that guy defends against dogs walking by, but crazy stuff at the Wicker Park. My whole thing, and Callie gets so mad, is like everyone there is a tourist. And so I'm like, that guy's from the suburbs, like that guy's from the suburbs, which like respect to the suburbs. But I'm just like, they come down for the Wicker Park Fest, and it's like they put on their Pope Leo shirt, crowd the streets. And I think she feels kind of partially like a tourist.
Because she's a new native.
New native. Doesn't like that I make fun of all the tourists. But
Sorry.
what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Let's get into it. I don't want to get into any more trouble.
That's good.
What's
Another day,
happening?
another dollar. Let's hop into the platform. We got dollar strength continuing today, not to the magnitude that we saw from the Sunday night, Monday open, where we were yesterday with some pretty large moves, but pretty sustained momentum. We got yesterday, we're looking at below 117 to start the morning. That trend has kept going. Now we're below 116 in the euro dollar to the tune of 115.5. British pound under 134. Japanese yen back above 148 near those highs. And we've got New Zealand dollar notably under 60 cents again. What screams out to you here besides looking at, this net change percentage?
Yeah,
scene?
it's just these aren't, like you said, huge moves. They're continuations. And yeah, I'm personally interested in the Swiss franc move there, getting back above 80.50. That feels nice given the last few weeks here, as you can see. It's been a good July for a dollar, but not such a good July for a dollar against this Swiss franc. So yeah, trading the highs here for the last several weeks will be really interesting to see how these moves pan out today going into tomorrow's Fed meeting. Obviously, with the Fed and the inflation and then the non-farm on the back of this week, this can either be best week in a while for the U.S. dollar, or it can be some of the best mean reverting trade that you've seen. Obviously, have no clue which way we're going to progress. But yeah, really interesting to see. Tuesday morning here, man. We haven't even put in 2 U.S. sessions, and this dollar is, up 200 points on the euro.
Wow.
It's up a nice 100 points on that Swiss franc that we just looked at. And the commodity currencies are also getting their butts kicked.
Interesting price action here this morning. I always like checking in at our time slot because we get a glimpse of if there was an overnight move. We get to see, looking at the hourly chart here, where exactly it took place. Was it on the Asian Open, European Open? And this one looks different than it did yesterday morning. We really pushed the lows right on that European Open. Bounced back. We just saw the same thing in the Swiss franc chart. Pretty much took out all that it was worth on this open move, and now plumbing back towards new lows. Is there any? I don't think there's any calendar news, but is that a surprise to you? Does that?
I think that they've tried to bounce this already a couple of times. They tried to yesterday on the U.S. Open. If you remember, they pushed through those lows. Yeah, right. Yeah, it would have been either that move or the next hourly bar there. I always get mixed up with the Eastern. Yeah, I think it was this right after the U.S. Open there. They tried to bounce it back, and then they just took it down the remainder of the U.S. session. You're seeing a little bit of the same on that London Open. They're trying to bounce this, but they're selling into it every time, man. And yeah, it makes me a little bit wary to like necessarily load up short dollar here for the long term. If you're short term trading, you are seeing these little bounces, but yeah, if you're looking for more than 20, 30, 40 points, Haven't seen a lot of those bounces that are more than 40 points in the last 24 hours or so. So there is something to look for there. If you get another move here below those recent lows that look like maybe 115.30 or something like that. If you get a move down to 115 even, maybe there is a contrarian play for a little bit of bounce there. But yeah, man, I think a lot of people have been in that long dollar in so many different ways, whether it's this euro, whether it's that Swiss franc, or even that yen, even though the dollar has been pretty strong against this yen. Yeah, here's the daily chart so you can see not really near the dollar lows like we have been in some of those European currencies. It feels like people are trying to squeeze as much juice out of this long dollar play as they can. Not dissimilar to like an equity market that gets really beat up, or the recent trends in like crypto. Like crypto gets really beat up for like months and months, and then like it bounces back, and it's not just like like we bounced back a little bit and now we're going to sit here. Those longs might sit long for a little bit, and then those people trying to sell into those moves on a shorter term basis get squeezed out. So it'll be interesting to see how far this trend goes, because yeah, I mean, dollar scarily close to 149 here in dollar yen. That's been the recent high going back to looks like March April timeframe. And then 150 is man, that could be today. I don't know if it's gonna be today, given that we're entering a little bit of like a lull heading into the FOMC tomorrow. But definitely with the amount of data on the calendar. Oh man, we have jolts today.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, it could be today.
It could be today. What we've been seeing recently, in recent months, it seems like anecdotally a trend is here. JOLTS job openings, the first kind of indicator of U.S. labor statistics that run up to the non-farm payroll report on Fridays. And we've seen some discrepancies here from this number, either coming in stronger or weaker, and non-farms not necessarily corroborating this story. And so that's made this, what is can be more of a mid-tier data point, has brought some increased scrutiny to it in recent months. So yeah, definitely looking forward to it. This one, a later release at 9 a.m. Central in 2.25 hours here. And then we've got a bunch of Australian data points here tonight. What?
Oh, you look at me when you say Australian.
Come on, you claim like a lot of nationalities. You can't be Australian too.
No, I thought you were. Oh, you weren't here last week.
What'd you do?
There was some pretty bad anti-Australian rhetoric out of me.
Out of you.
It was
How?
just like,
What have Australians ever done?
it was like we were talking about something like traveling or something, and I was just like, yeah, man, like I feel like everywhere I go, there's like a pack of Aussies that are just like being
Also
super
there.
loud, like,
You know what's actually really funny is the last time I was in Amsterdam,
dude.
Heineken Museum, met a group of
Bunch of Aussies,
Australian
yeah.
women, and my friend wanted them to hang around, so we went out with them later that night. But that's just really funny.
It
Didn't
was-
happen this time, but last time.
We were having conversations, as you know, just get so boring, and it's just like we gotta spice it up a little bit, and so it's like Australians like feel like you can go at them a little bit, but then Kyle, who's British, was like, you understand that that's how everybody views Americans, right? It's like, all right, fine, but I'm taking Aussies down with me.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, we're taking down their currency
Yeah.
as well. This is this out of everything that we've looked at so far today, and the research supports this. If you're looking for a contrarian play, the Aussie or the commodity currencies seem like, of course, again, we have no clue what the heck's going to happen. Not trade advice, and also all the research that we do, not indicative of the future. But if you're looking for a value play, like Aussie is definitely, out of those major currencies against the dollar that we're looking at here, is the weakest. You've seen it try to press through. The 66 cents is pretty much the high for this market the last several months.
And 65 cents, also an interesting price level.
Well, and so you know what this market's capable of, right? Like, this is one of those, with the euros falling out of the sky here, like, I have really no expectations for what, like, can happen.
Right.
Like, we could see, by the end of the week, we could easily see sub 112. We could see 118 bid. Like, anything really goes there. Here, of course, anything goes theoretically. But looking at the last even several months of price action, but especially the last several weeks, you've got a market that's tried to move through 66 cents, hasn't been able to, now is back down to those lows that they've tried to take it down below 65, 64.50, haven't been able to. You know what you're dealing with in terms of recent trends. And this is one that, given the dollar upside, is probably one of the weakest. Like, I wouldn't be like clamoring here to like get long Swiss franc, you know,
Right.
like, or even get long euro or pound, given that it feels like they were the strongest on the way up, and they could be the weakest here on the way down if it continues.
And you've got a slew of data points if you're trading this throughout the night from the Australian side. So definitely an interesting market this week. But before we get out of here, I want to get over to some slides.
Sweet.
Did a little bit of research for you guys today, looking at managing profit expectations for long US dollar positions. This one coming in because we might be getting a little US dollar comeback. We have a very popular trade among looking at client sentiment from IG Group, at least, and in the wider financial world as well. With this dollar getting beat up so badly, long U.S. dollar plays are popular.
People love the extremes.
Here, looking at the U.S. dollar Swiss franc pair, with 85% of IG Group clients long. This was snapped yesterday. And looking at the trading activity, you know, in more recent times, majority sells, but this might speak to, you know, more position traders in this market with historic extremes.
Well, yeah, a couple of things. Dollar Swiss franc is a rounding
Barely
error off of decade lows.
Right.
And so when you get an extreme move like that, you're likely to get people trying to get on the other side of it. And so you have, 85% of the IG Group clients in this market long. Now, the trade activity thing, that's obviously more of like some shorter term metrics of, you see the last month has been 57% sells, which is nearly even. But yeah, the last day and the last hour, more than 70% sells. That's just because you've seen a little bit of a bounce in the last 24 to 48 hours of trading, but still overwhelmingly long and still at 80.50. I think the historic low is like 79 cents.
Right.
And this market has been as high as what, like 85, 86. It's been above 90 in the last year or two. I think
believe so, yeah.
Yeah. So interesting setup. But yeah, a lot of people, given the last couple of months of price action with dollar longs, starting to see a little bit of dollar upside. Where the hell do I take this thing off at?
Exactly. And what kind of time horizon are you working with too? What kind of profit targets are realistic? If you're not, you know, intra-hourly scalping and aren't looking just to layer on to position trades near these extremes. What we did for this study is use the past 3 years of price data using daily high, low, open, close data for our popular U.S. dollar pairs. And this one had, you know, not any sort of, you know, curated entry criteria, just entering long U.S. dollar positions at the daily close price with a max time in trade of 10 days. So letting this run for at most 10 days and then calculating win rates based on symmetric take profit and stop loss levels based on pip distance. So, you know, this study not necessarily closer to, you know, an exact environment you're looking for or an opportunity to trade, but just analyzing, you know, if you have been long U.S. dollar from more of a random persistent backdrop, what kind of profit targets are you looking at?
And yeah, none of these studies are going to. The purpose of studies in trading like this is to give people some kind of idea of, you use the word expectations, or like guidelines for how markets have historically acted. If you think that from a study like this, or what they do with the options or anything else, that it's like, okay, they're going to give me the magic numbers, and then I'm just going to do that. I was talking to a guy at the Tasty Live event last week, and he was like, so can you show me which strike to sell? And it's like, I don't know what that means technically. And he ended up, we had a good conversation, but I think his preliminary thought was like,
answer please.
Oh, like Tom Sosnoff or whoever, like they like to be selling options, whatever anybody's, opinion is or strategy. And he has like the magic numbers of like, every time I just sell the 100 strike.
Like
and
a
it's
playbook,
just like, it's not how it works. And I was even like, like really, if you're looking at all these different strikes in the S&P, for example, they're all, SPY ETF, they're all $1 away. I was like, selling this one versus selling this one versus selling this one, kind of a rounding error.
Yeah.
Like it's not that big of a deal. It could be if you held them to expiration. Anyways, getting off on a tangent there. For this stuff, it's the same thing where it's like, you're not going to get any results that it's like, oh man, I'm going to sell Canadian dollar like every single day.
Right.
And like, I'm always going to take 30 points out of it. And it's like, that's not what we're looking at. But what we are looking at here is like, what can I expect if I am getting long dollar in the last couple of months, because it's been so beat up. And I have this long dollar position on from yesterday, from last week. When should I be getting out given what I want out of it, which of course you have to insert that into it, is like, am I trying to have this for a couple of days or a couple of weeks? Am I trying to make, on a one lot position, $100 or $500 or whatever? So you have to enter that, your opinions kind of into there. And what we're going to give you is like, okay, like you can't expect, a 100-point move in 2 days, or like you can expect a 10-point move in 4 hours. And that might actually be like a pretty successful way to look at it. So let's take a look at the numbers.
Nice. So here we've got win rates by profit target, and we used 20 to 100. If we're thinking about the time horizon, we went 1 to 10 days. If a daily, high to low range is around 40 to 60 pips in a lot of these markets, this will give you, a good cushion there. And what we saw is, if you are looking for something as small as 20 points, it's there a lot of the time.
This is awesome.
And this also, I know a lot of numbers in front of you, but hopefully with the color coding can kind of point out to you where the kind of cutoff is around that 50% threshold. It's around, 40 to maybe even 50 pips, and which pairs, have perhaps a longer leash for expectations from a per pip distance, which corresponds directly to your profit in dollars.
A couple of things. So one, you have to caveat this with dollar has spanked a lot of these markets on average for the last several years. So you're not necessarily, like when you look at that dollar yen and you're like, oh man, I'm just going to long dollar yen all the time, hold that stuff for hundreds of points. Consider the historical context and the fact that the dollar has beaten up on the yen really, really well the last couple of years in particular. That's likely unsustainable for, years and years and years into the future. Anyways, what is really meaningful here is, and I'm super surprised, man, that you're seeing consistent above 50% success rates with being long dollar, looking for 20, 30, 40, even 50 points. It seems like in these pairs, once you start thinking like, oh, I want 60 points and above, or especially like I want 100 points out of this trade, not very realistic. Your success rate really starts to turn south from there. Now, of course, you can have a 40% success rate and make 100 points on all 40% of those. And on your 60% losers, try to only take 20 or 30 point losers. We'll do that study at a different time to see how sustainable that is. But yeah, if you're looking for symmetrical, like I'm looking to make or lose 50 points every time, you're able to still eke out more than 50% winners on that setup.
Yeah, and the last thing we want to touch is average days to hitting the profit target. And here, a lot of numbers as well, but we're just looking at, if you want to be in a trade less than 2 days, 40 pips is around what you could expect for hitting that profit target. And then if you are looking for those longer moves, it could take more than 5 days to hit. And this is just based on hitting that profit target. Going back to the last one, we also saw around 80 to 100. That's where that 10-day time kicker also starts to kick in. But here, this is just looking for trades that hit those profit targets. And so we're seeing a grouping of under 2 days and then spread out all the way to nearly 5.
Well, so yeah, you could bring up the takeaways for the people to read, but my takeaways here are really just like you can try to take 20, 30, 40, 50 points out of these pairs and still have that 50% success rate, maybe hopefully, of course, north of that. But what's also interesting, and I think that we're starting to develop this trend in Forex trading research, is if you have a trade on that's around a scratch or a small loser, small winner, after like 3 days especially, it seems like it becomes pretty random after that. So the two things in my mind to really be aware of.
Absolutely. And here, just the other takeaways for you that we just covered. USD JPY, perhaps the most exceptional performance of the past 3 years. If that could continue, who knows? But yeah, just those notes on time in trade and looking for those 20 to 30 pip winners, the most consistent over the past 3 years. That'll do it for us here today on Forex Focus, but a lot left of trading in the day. So stay tuned for Tom, Tony, and Vanetta up next on Tasty Live.
Global markets never sleep. Explore them with Forex, now available on tastytrade. Get in on over 80 Forex pairs, 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, with the Forex platform that adapts to your style and speed. FX marks the spot. Trade it on tastytrade.
The beauty of Thinkorswim was that we were different.
From the name to the front end technology was clearly what we wanted as traders. Second time around, I think we did a better job. Yes, we are known for our ability to